How do you define emptiness? When we think of emptiness, we often imagine an unfurnished room, a deserted street in the dead of night, or a starless night sky. But the truth is, those things aren't empty at all. You can still feel the breeze brushing against your skin, gravity anchoring your heels to the ground, and time ticking away with every beat of your heart. No matter how alone you are, this universe is always embracing you. But to the SCP Foundation, the universe is not a benevolent creator. It is a fragile veil, and sometimes that veil tears wide open. Imagine a place where light, sound, direction, and even the very concept of time are completely obliterated. A void where even death, the final release for all living things, refuses to come for you. Today, we won't be facing a flesh-eating monster or a cruel, godlike entity. Absolute terror sometimes doesn't come from a presence, but from an absolute absence. Welcome to the file on SCP-3001. Welcome to the Red Reality, where the most terrifying monster is your very own existence. How do you contain something that doesn't even exist? The containment procedures for SCP-3001 make up one of the most tragic documents the Foundation has ever had to draft. There are no reinforced underground bunkers, no mobile task forces, MTF, on patrol, and no sacrificial rituals. All the Foundation does is monitor a tiny spatial anomaly tucked away in Site-120. Any attempt to access or explore SCP-3001 is permanently strictly forbidden, because SCP-3001 is not a room. It is a pocket dimension, a hole in the fabric of reality. To understand how dangerous it is, I have to explain a top-secret Foundation concept to you, the Hume Level. You can think of a Hume as a measurement of reality's thickness or density. A normal environment on Earth has a Hume level of approximately 100. It ensures that water flows downward, fire is hot, and when a body is destroyed, it dies. But SCP-3001 is a paradox. It is an endless space with a Hume level so low it practically hits rock bottom. 0. Put simply, inside SCP-3001, reality is so thin that matter cannot maintain its original form. There is no gravity, no physical structure. It is a vacuum of dense nothingness, where all natural laws cease to function. But the real tragedy began on January 2nd, 2000. Dr. Robert Scranton, one of the Foundation's greatest minds, a pioneer in the creation of reality-bending machines, was caught in a laboratory explosion. But he wasn't blown to pieces. The explosion tore through space, hurling him along with a small electronic control panel straight into the heart of SCP-3001. Scranton found himself floating in an endless, dark void. The only thing he could see, the only light in his entire new universe, was a tiny, blinking red LED emitting from the damaged control panel. And because the Hume level there was so low, Dr. Scranton's body could not die. His biological functions ground to a halt. He didn't need to eat, drink, or sleep, and he couldn't kill himself. He was imprisoned in absolute lucidity, drifting alongside a single red dot of light. 1 day, 2 days, then thousands of days. Everything we know about Dr. Scranton's reality during that time was recorded through an audio recording function that miraculously remained active on the control panel. Those tapes didn't just record a scientific accident. They captured the process of a soul being slowly crushed into absolute decay. And now, put your headphones on. We are going to listen to what Dr. Scranton experienced in that darkness. Now shut out the light around you. Shut out the feeling of the chair you're sitting on.
Imagine.
You are Robert Scranton. You open your eyes and see nothing. There is no up, no down. Gravity is a non-existent concept. You try to swim through the air, but your limbs just flail into nothingness. There isn't a speck of dust, not a single gas molecule to create friction. You scream, but in this environment, sound has no medium to travel through. Your words die right on your lips, bouncing back only inside your own skull. The only thing you can cling to is the control panel drifting beside you, with its blinking red LED. You call it red. It is your only friend, the only anchor keeping your mind from shattering. You cry, and the tears don't fall. They pool into floating spheres of water around your eyes, salty and freezing cold. day after day. Even though here, the concept of a day means absolutely nothing. The true nightmare of the red reality isn't just the isolation. It is the disintegration of reality. Your body comes from a world with a normal Hume level. When thrown into an environment with a reality level of near zero, your body automatically begins to equalize with its surroundings. The very matter that makes up your body begins to thin out. At first, you feel your body go numb. Then one day, you realize in horror that your fingernails are peeling off and drifting into the air, completely bloodless. You vomit, but the stomach acid just floats around you in sour clouds. You bring a hand up to touch your face, and your facial skin sloughs off like wet paper. But you cannot die. This environment is too starved of reality to support a process as complex as death. Your brain still functions. Your nerves still fire off signals of excruciating agony as flesh and bone slowly separate. You witness your own disintegration. You float amidst fragments of your own internal organs, bones crumbling into dust, and droplets of blood drifting like a crimson galaxy. In the audio tape from year 3, Scranton's voice is no longer human. It is a mess of manic screaming, cursing the universe, begging for forgiveness, and whispering to Red. He tells the red dot about his wife, Anna, about fading memories. His mind fractures, fabricating hallucinations just to survive. He becomes a dying cloud of matter, imprisoned in a hell with no demons, only eternal silence. The tragedy of SCP-3001 does not stop at imprisonment. If Scranton had simply faded into nothingness, perhaps it would have been a mercy. But the SCP Foundation never gets such gentle endings. On day 2135, that is exactly 5 years, 11 months, and 21 days since the accident, the quantum stabilizer on the control panel, the only thing sustaining a tiny, fragile bubble of reality around Scranton, finally ran out of power. The blinking red dot died out, but in that precise moment, the collapse of the control panel triggered a spatial inversion reaction. A rift in reality tore open once again, connected straight back to Site 120, back to the old lab, back to the real world. And guess who was standing in the lab at that exact moment? Dr. Anna Lang, his wife. She had spent nearly 6 years researching and desperately trying to understand what had happened to her husband. The spatial rift closed as quickly as it opened. The heavily damaged control panel dropped onto the lab floor, bringing with it all the recorded audio data from the past 6 years. But Robert Scranton did not. His Hume level had dropped too low. He was no longer a flesh and blood human being capable of passing through the veil of reality. When the space snapped shut, the crushing pressure of Earth's reality pulverized whatever was left of him. All Anna found on the lab floor was a visceral slurry of 60 deciliters of blood, unidentifiable organ fragments, and patches of human skin. And amidst that horrifying remains was one final audio recording. Anna, I'm here. I can't see you. I can't see anything. Anna, help me. That is the naked, heart-wrenching truth. The SCP Foundation, with all its transcendent technology and unparalleled power, was completely helpless. They realized that out there, beyond the borders of our world, there are traps of nothingness lying in wait. They cannot defeat SCP-3001. They cannot destroy it. They could only stand by and watch as one of their greatest minds rotted away for 6 years, leaving his wife with a pile of audio tapes filled with paranoid screaming and a cold puddle of blood on the floor. The red reality doesn't kill you. It refuses to do so. It merely strips you of all meaning of existence, chews up your humanity, and when you are nothing but a pile of shredded meat, it spits you back out, leaving the people you love to clean up the rest. Our lives are built upon a blind faith. We believe that gravity will always pull our heels to the ground. We believe that when we inhale, air will always fill our lungs. And we believe that when we close our eyes to sleep, the world will still be right where it belongs, waiting for us to wake up. But the tragedy of Dr. Robert Scranton and SCP-3001 reminds us of a chilling truth. Reality is not a solid concrete foundation. It is merely an incredibly fragile bubble membrane, floating in an ocean of emptiness and nothingness. And sometimes that bubble can pop, You don't have to do anything wrong to be damned. You just have to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And the universe will swallow you whole without needing a reason. Tonight, as you get ready for bed, when you reach out to turn off the light switch and darkness swallows your room whole, look into the dark corner. Chances are you'll see a tiny, blinking red LED from your TV, your Wi-Fi router, or your phone charger. Stare at that red dot of light. Listen to the surrounding silence. And for just a moment, ask yourself, the real feeling of the mattress beneath your back, could it vanish in the next split second? Does the world outside, your family, your friends actually still exist? Or is it just you left, floating in an endless void, unable to cry, unable to die, with that red light as the sole witness to your meaningless existence for the rest of eternity? Have a good night's sleep, and let's hope that tomorrow, reality will still be patiently waiting for you when you open your eyes.